We want to call this meeting to order. It's good to have you here today. This is the Weber County Commission meeting dated January 29th. To my right, isn't this how you always do it? To my right is Commissioner Jim Harvey. To my left is Commissioner Gage Frohr, and I'm Commissioner Scott Jenkins. We welcome you all here today. It's good to have you. We will start this meeting with an invocation by Bill Ross, after which Shelley Howells, he'll give us our Pledge of Allegiance, and Commissioner Harvey will give us our thought of the day.
Our dear Heavenly Father, as we come before thee at the beginning of this Weber County Commission meeting, we're indeed very grateful for the many blessings we have, specifically the opportunities we have to live in this wonderful country and also county. We are thankful for those who have been elected to lead and guide us here, and pray that thou will continue to bless them, inspire and direct them, and bless them with the help they need to continue on in their responsibilities, as well as with the integrity and honor that we expect of them. We're grateful for them and their efforts. We are grateful also, Father, for our military and all our first responders, our law enforcement, and our firefighters, and all those who protect us each day, and pray that thou continue to bless them with safety in all of their responsibilities and things they do. Again, we're thankful to be here, and we pray that thy blessings will be upon us during this meeting, that things will be conducted to make this Weber County not only a great place to work, but a great place to live and raise our families. And we ask for these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Please stand and join us in pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner?
Thank you. In feeling what might be an appropriate thought for today, Commissioners, and by the way, let me just start by saying how refreshing it is to be in this body, surrounded by these other two commissioners. It's really an enjoyable experience, and I would say that many of our discussions turn synergetic. A 1 + 1 = 3 type of a thing. We get going, and the words, one more thing. Just one more thing might happen frequently at 5:50 at night when we're supposed to be somewhere else by 6, and then at 7:15, just one more thing. And it just goes on, and we smile and have fun, and it's really good. But today, for some whatever reason, I thought it would be appropriate to talk on this particular topic. For folks about my age, many of our grandmothers taught us that hatred corrodes the container it is carried in. Remembering back to September 11th, I'll never forget seeing what hate destroys, or feeling how that felt. But on the contrary, I'll never forget seeing what love and coming together can heal. I remember it didn't matter of what political party we were on, or what affiliation, or what church you belonged to, but we all came together. In a book by Alan Hunt in 1964, Everyone Needs to Forgive Somebody, forgiveness will unleash a power in your life that is understood and often ignored. It is underrated mainly because it is underused. We fail to capture the power of forgiveness because we are afraid of it, because we have grown comfortable in our familiar wounds, or because we are sinfully stubborn. But there is power waiting for us through forgiveness. And I would just say, in wrapping things up, may we always choose to forgive and to choose our own containers to fill them with love. Thank you.
Thank you. That was very good. I appreciate that. Makes me feel better. No, it was interesting. I was at a meeting last night. Commissioner Harvey's always talking about how we say the pledge and where the commas are. And I was saying the Pledge of Allegiance when we got done. This lady standing next to me turned to me and she says, "Thank you for saying that pledge right." She says, "Nobody ever does that." So your training is good.
Well, and that I was taught that, actually, or reminded by that. Excuse me, I'm going to be a little rude, but I'm going to point right there. Sylvia Salisbury. She's reminded me, and that's helped me in a lot of places, Sylvia. And I feel like that needs to be perpetuated, and I'm glad to know it is.
It is. It's rubbing off, Miss Salisbury. So, yeah. It's kind of like that Fresca you drink. One can at a time, one pledge at a time. We do it right. All right. Well, as we start our meeting today, the very first thing we do is go to public comments. And I think if I understand, we might have some people here that would like to comment today. So we will go to public comment. If we have some that would like to do that, please step forward and tell us what you got on your mind. Introduce yourself, please, and tell us where you live.
My name is Leandra Brinkerhoff, and I'm from Hooper, Utah.
I'm Kylie Hodgson, and I'm also from Hooper, Utah.
And we're here representing Fremont High School's DECA Club today. And our DECA Club is currently partnered with the Women of the World organization to help support refugee women and children who have been relocated here to Utah. These women come from countries such as Afghanistan, Yemen, and Sudan for reasons of war, persecution, and natural disasters, and they've come to seek refuge here. And we've been trying to support these women and the Women of the World organization by gathering supplies such as diaper bags in the form of any type of reusable bag, diapers, baby wipes, comfort items, and any other sort of infant-related needs. And Women of the World is an organization where they help these women get educated when they come here, they help them learn English, and they help them get jobs so that they can support themselves and their children when they come here. So we're just trying to be an aid in that help. And we currently have enough supplies to almost support 200 women. But our goal is to support 300. And our project started in December and it ends February 15th. So we are asking the County Commission to be able to involve more of our community. We are asking for a grant of $300 to help finish our project and be able to support 300 of these refugee women in our community.
$300 grant, huh? Let's see. Do we have a grant department?
We don't have a grant department. I'm going to, I'll tell you where I am on this.
Where are you?
I'll be glad to help you too, since your courage and your cause and the fact that you come from Fremont High School, a local high school. I'll personally put up your first 50 and encourage those who see this now or maybe later to do the same, or another denomination like that.
Well, if you'll give me 50, I'll see that 50 and match it.
Well, I think what I'm going to do is, since you're asking for 300, I want to raise their bet and raise that. If we all did 100 each, that would give you your $300 by my calculation, right? So
He's pretty good at math.
Thank you.
I just like getting things done in a hurry. So with my proposal would be we individually give $100.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll match it. Looks like you just got it.
Thank you so
you.
much.
You bet. Thank you. Now, you probably have to hang around the end of the meeting to get it, but.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Thank you so much.
I got to go wash dishes tonight. Mine might come tomorrow, but we'll be all right.
Thank you very much. Nice seeing you, gals.
I think we can all skip a lunch to pay for this. So
You bet. That's wonderful. Is there anybody else that would like to speak up today? Seeing none, we'll move on. It's good seeing all your smiling faces out there. All right, next item on the agenda are consent items. So we start out with warrants, numbers 1672 through 1685, and numbers 435936 through 436171. So Ricky, can you differentiate those numbers? Why are ones 4-digit numbers and the others 6?
Because of the method of payment. The 6-digit numbers are checks, and the others are paid through ACH transactions.
Well, there you go. We all learned something new today. I didn't know that. Did
Good,
you
I didn't know that.
Well, I know that actually the last four number, it's the last four numbers, and it's a 16-digit, is it not, Ricky? The ACH?
Yeah, it's a much longer.
But it just
Tracker.
that just comes from being here 25 years, so you...
Yeah, that's good. All right, next line is approval of purchase orders in the amount of $237,326.70. And the next is approval of the minutes from January 22nd. And the next is the approval of new beer licenses. So Ricky, let's turn some time over to you to go through our warrants.
Right, we issued 31 purchase orders this week for $231,000. 39% of that amount, or $94,000, is for the fleet. That is for a sweeper truck and a side dump trailer. I checked into the side dump trailer, and the way we handle things with fleet purchases is we give them a lump sum of money, and they spend that as they see fit, still needing to go through the proper purchase order process, which is what this is doing. But we're suspecting that's likely a replacement, or it's a decision that is made at the fleet level. And Sean may have additional details on that particular item. 28% or $66,000 is for a transfer station, and that will go towards fuel, supplies, and some repairs. We had two at 8% or $20,000. The roads is putting aside a PO to do heavy equipment rental, and the elections is going to purchase some precinct supply carts. And then 6% or $13,000 is for our landfill gas recovery fund, and that will go towards parts and service. As far as checks, we wrote 250 checks this week for $1.4 million. A quarter of that amount, or $324,000, is transportation tax that was reimbursement to Marriott Slaterville for their work on Pioneer Road. 11% or $147,000 is for the fleet, and that is to purchase a Kenworth T880 tractor trailer. And then we had before items about 8 or 9%, or just over $100,000. Our monthly contribution to WEBER Human Services, payment to public defenders for their services, a ramp award to the Ogden Nature Center, and our monthly housing payments on behalf of WEBER Housing Authority. And then we had two final sections for 6%, or about $85,000. One was our monthly contribution to the Convention Visitors Bureau, and lastly was for the jail, and that will go towards mental health for inmates, as well as utilities and food.
Very good. Are there any questions?
I just wanted to point out the 13,000 and some odd landfill recovery for repairs. I just want to point that out, landfill recovery repairs. So the machine that is recovering the gas and things from the cap of the landfill has to be maintained in order for it to continue working. And that's something I think collectively we should take a look at what our yield is off that recovery. I know that our guys have done a fantastic job in maintaining it, but we probably should take a look and see if we're now going the other way as far as expense and what we're getting. So
I agree with that.
but with that, there's nothing off that. If there's no other, I'll make a motion, Mr. Chair, that we
I'm not
accept-
quite ready for that. I wanted to ask Sean about that side dump trailer. Do you have any knowledge of it, or Bill, do you? The reason I question that is I remember the tractor when we budgeted this year, but I
Yeah.
don't remember the side dump trailer.
Yeah, the side dump I think came out of the fleet budget as well. What it was, so this is in conjunction with the tractor trailer. So it's that new purchase of that tractor trailer isn't just going to be used for hauling equipment. It's going to be used for this side dump. And I guess the advantage of having that right now is right now they haul all our salt, our gravel, everything in independent dump trucks. And this side dump allows us to carry up to 3 times as much, so it's going to help us be a lot more efficient. And they had to calculate it into their budget to cover that, so.
You say they did have it?
It is in their budget to cover it, yes. That was part of the plan, and I do believe it was purchased through the fleet budget as well as the tractor trailer, so.
Okay.
So.
H, you want to say something?
No, I just had a question when you're through to Ricky on the consent item. So on these new beer licenses, Ricky, is that for one-time events or special events? What are these licenses for?
Ooh, that's a good question. Fatima will take a look. I'm guessing that they're permanent, but I'll rely on the expert on the beer licenses.
Really sure. I think they renew these on a yearly basis or something like that, and so I think that's what that is.
Okay, so these are existing facilities, and these wouldn't be special events?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, this is new. This is actually a brand new beer license.
Yeah, it says the Grey Cliff Lodge, Hog Canyon.
It's a renewal, but it's new for the year, and it goes both ways. Sometimes it's for events, and sometimes it's for a event.
Okay, so this is a renewal for Great Cliff.
Looks like it.
Looks like it's just the one.
I just have one,
Is that correct?
yes.
Yeah, okay. Mr.
Okay.
Chair, that answers my question.
Great. All right. Commissioner, I'm ready.
I'll entertain a motion that we accept the consent items as was spoken about today.
Motion
Second?
and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The consent items are approved. All right, we'll go to the action items. Item on G, 1, request for approval of a resolution of Weber County, of the County Commissioners of Weber County appointing a trustee to the West Weber Cemetery District. Shelley?
Thank you, Commissioners. This resolution is to fill the remainder of a term left by a member. You've received 2 applications. This has been posted according to state law, and we're just asking for someone to fill the rest of this term.
Thank you. You know, we've had discussions on this. Very seldom do you get 2 applications of this high quality of individuals. So we're open for discussion if you want to have any, or motions, or we've beat this around. We know who they are.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion if I could
Okay.
speak to it. So I'm going to move that we appoint Roger Heslop as the new appointee for the trustee for the Board of West Weber Taylor Cemetery. This is really a tough decision. We have 2 highly qualified individuals. Both of them are very well qualified to serve in this capacity. I have done a little research and received some comments from members of the public out there, and both these individuals are held in high regard. I just feel that in talking to the current board members that Mr. Heslop probably fits the criteria at this point in time.
I have a motion.
I like Roger. He did a wonderful job on our planning commission. I like the qualifications of Mr. Opikins.
I'll second that.
Thank you. I could go either way on that.
It does go either way, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. All right. Well, to that, I'll call the
It's resolution 4.
resolution number 4.
Commissioner Harvey,
Aye.
Commissioner Forer,
Aye.
and Chair Jenkins.
Aye.
Thank you.
It's okay.
Item number 2, approval of an ordinance amendment related to Weber County Development Department and Solid Waste Division. Sean Wilkinson. Mr. Wilkinson.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for some time this morning. Last week, we had the first reading of this ordinance on your agenda, and this is to approve an 11-cent per ton increase in the tipping fee at the transfer station. And this fee was given to us or passed on to us by the Utah Department of Environmental Quality. So we are raising our fees now so that we can make that payment that is required to the state.
Are there any questions?
None.
Sean, I think we discussed this before. This is simply a pass-through. This is no direct revenue source for the county. Is that correct?
That is correct. It is
Okay.
passed through to the state.
Goes to DEQ.
Yes.
Thank you.
I make a motion that we accept item number 2 as presented.
Second.
A motion and second.
The ordinance number 1,
Ordinance number 1.
Commissioner Harvey,
Aye.
Commissioner Faur,
Aye.
and Chair Jenkins.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Very good. Item number 3, approval of contract by and between Weber County and Summit Food Services to provide commissary services for the jail.
Good morning.
Mrs. Ebert, how are you?
Good. With your permission, Commissioner, I'd like to address number 3 and 4 together and then ask for your approval for both of the
Sure.
contracts separately,
Go
if that's
ahead.
okay. The reason being is most of the vendors in the corrections industry that provide the commissary service also provide food service. And so just, we did separate RFP processes, and they are separate contracts, but to facilitate more of the pre-bid conference meetings and so forth, we usually go out to bid for these services together because the vendors are the same that provide these services. So that being said, in 2015 was the last time we went out to bid for these services, and the winning vendors of those contracts were Swanson Commissary for our commissary services and Trinity Food Service for food service. And shortly after awarding those contracts, Trinity Food Service actually bought Swanson Commissary, and then shortly after that, they merged with Keefe Commissary Network. And so while there are some positive results that come from those mergers at times, initially there's some growing pains, if you will, when a company merges with another company. And so we experienced a little bit of that with our contracts that we had in place. And so when our initial 3-year period came up with both of these contracts, we elected to go through a new RFP process for both of these services. And so we did that a few months ago, and we actually would like to, or we selected Summit Food Service to handle both of those contracts. The result of the contracts actually was very favorable for us. The commissary, which is item number 3 on the agenda, we are presently earning a 45% commission on our commissary services to the inmates, and our new contract with Summit will give us a 48% commission. So that was a positive change there. And then on the food service, right now we're paying 1.067 cents per meal, and the new contract with Summit gives us a 99.7 cents per meal cost. And when you have an average population of about 1,000 inmates in a facility, 1 penny will create about a $10,000 cost or savings, depending on which way it goes, over the course of a year. And so this 7-cent savings ends up being pretty substantial when you look at the totality of the contract. In addition to the food service contract, the meal cost going down, they are also going to give us some money to help improve some of our equipment that we have in the kitchen. So that's also a positive for us. So if you have any further questions on either one of these contracts, I'd be happy to try and answer it for you.
The only question I have, for 99 cents, do they get any meat in the mail?
Yes, and actually this was we had 3 vendors that responded to our RFP, and the vendor that we selected actually uses real meat rather than the TVP, which is the soy-based product. So this actually is, the vendor we selected uses real meat.
Oh, that's good. I'm impressed. 99.7.
7.
That's really,
Yeah, I was going to ask you the question we got up here, why we didn't do our own food services, but you answered it right there.
do we contract, or does the youth center just to the north of our existing complex out there, is that kitchen somehow, or the contractor also providing meals out other places on that campus?
No, not currently. I'm not aware, with the juvenile facility being a state facility, as well as Mill Creek across the street on 12th Street. I'm not aware of who they use for their food service.
Just was curious. Thank you.
Can you review that margin again you talked about on the commissary? I think you said 47% or 48, is that?
So we're currently earning 45% on our general commissary, and we're going to increase that to 48%.
With the new contract? And so the commissary, just so I understand it, that's the goods that the inmates would purchase on their own?
Correct.
Versus the being served under the food service contract that they get their meals on a whatever basis?
Yes, so with the food service, we provide the inmates 3 meals a day, and there's a certain calorie count that's required, and we meet that. But the inmates, if they want to purchase additional items, snacks, depending on their level of where they're at in the facility, they can buy hot foods, hot drinks. There's also some other miscellaneous items that they can buy on commissary every week.
Great, thank you.
Very good. Well, I'm open for a motion, if somebody'd like to make it.
Yeah, I'd move that we approve agenda item G3.
Okay?
Weber
Second.
County Summit Food Service LLC.
Second.
And a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And I'll move that we approve item number G4 as listed on our contract, or on our cover sheet today, approving the food service for the clients and inmates.
Second.
Okay, been moved and second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. Very good. Item 5, request for approval of interlocal agreement by and between Weber County and Plain City for certain road maintenance. Joe Hadley.
Yeah, I'm not.
Joe Hadley.
I'm not as good looking as Joe Hadley,
I
a
was
little
gonna
bit
say.
bigger, but I'd like to excuse him. He was tied up with something
okay,
this
Bill.
morning. So this is just an interlocal agreement, just as we did with, similar to the one we just approved for Marriott Slaterville. It's just a contracted price for what we charge them for our services for basic road maintenance and different things that we do within the city. So it's just this, it's the same fees that we give all the different municipalities that we serve.
I was a little surprised to see this. Is this something new?
No, we've had those in every year to year.
Have you?
So yeah.
When I was mayor
Yeah.
out there, we never had any kind of a contract with the county that I was aware of.
Yeah, and every year, I've been in specifically with our meetings with Marriott Slaterville, and we go in and see their needs and make sure things haven't changed, but those rates have been pretty consistent over the past several years.
Typically, what kind of stuff do you do for them?
Mostly just road repairs. We do a little bit of plowing if needed, just depending on, it's kind of like the agreement we made with the state. If something,
Right.
our equipment breaks, they're there to assist us. We do the same thing. We do some snow plowing, but mostly road maintenance is what we do with them, so.
That's good. Questions?
It's here again, it just shows that we eliminate the line and work together as different government agencies to make it better for the customer, the client, the constituent, the taxpayer, whatever you want. They're all the same. I'll make a motion, Mr. Chair, if you're ready to accept.
I am.
I'll make a motion that we accept the interlocal agreement by and between Weber County and Plain City for road maintenance services.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? We're passed. Thank you, Bill. Oh, might as well stay right
Yeah,
there.
let's
Contract
stay here,
between
so.
Weber County, next item is a contract between Weber County and Rocky Mountain Power for a conveyance of a tow installed
It's
utility
two,
pole.
yeah. That's a typo, that's 2.
Oh, that's 2. Oh, these
Yeah,
are those
quantity of
2
two,
poles we
so-
talked about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Two
go ahead.
power poles.
So just to give you a little background in this, with the new development of the sheriff's complex out there in the state JJS building, we have the vacant lot there, but we're putting in a sign out front on 12th Street. And of course, that sign needs power, so the power to access for that sign will be on the west side of that frontage lot there. And it happens to be that we'll access that from a pole, and so instead of us going and purchasing a pole to cross from the utility side across the sidewalk, Rocky Mountain, it's the end of their line. The last pole actually is in pretty poor shape, which we'll probably remove and dispose of properly. But in cooperation with this, they're conveying those 2 poles to us for 0 cost, but they have to sell it to us so that we assume the liability. So it's a bill of sale for $0, and we assume responsibility. Because those poles are treated by certain chemicals that keep the insects and things out, and they just, along with this contract, you'll see all the precautions and things you need. You can't just take it out back and burn it for firewood or use it for certain things. They need to be disposed of properly, which can be at landfills and different things which we have, at our disposal. So they're just conveying those for $0. It's a bill of sale so that we can do that and mount our equipment to it and get power to the sign.
I assume that Rocky Mountain installs the poles.
They're already installed.
They're there.
Yeah, they're existing poles that are there. So
Okay.
I attached some pictures with you. You'll be able to see both poles. One is on the east side of the old entrance to the sheriff's office, and one's on the west side by Terrapart. Like I said, the west one you'll see it's got a nice hook to it. We'll probably be removing that just so it's not a liability for the county, but we'll dispose of it appropriately. So.
I'd like to, before we make a motion, Commissioners, I'd like to do a special recognition of Craig Bristol with Rocky Mountain Power. Craig is one of their guys that interfaces with governments. He's been incredibly kind and generous, thoughtful, and he's looked out for us. Been really good. He's been our representative for a long time, and I guess has just been moved down a little further south.
Yeah, got moved to the Layton area.
But I hope Craig knows how much we appreciate him and all his interface with us.
We'll make sure we pass that along to him as well. He's been a great asset to us.
Commissioner, I'll make a motion, or Mr. Chair.
I'm ready for
I'll
it.
make a motion that we approve the contract by and between Weber County and Rocky Mountain Power for the conveyance of of 2 installed utility power poles located out there on 12th Street and right into about not 900 West, or BDO-ish.
Very good. We have a
Second.
motion and a second to that. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Commissioner comments? Either of you have to say anything?
I would just like to thank the students from Fremont High for being here, take time out of their day to be with us. It's great, always good to see the young students take an interest in government. One of the things I enjoyed at the legislature very much was the visits from elementary, junior high, and high schools. They came down and visited us at the Hill and really learned about our government process. I think this is where you learn about it the most, which you understand it's just ordinary people that are involved with politics on a day-to-day basis. And without your involvement, we couldn't do what we do and make good decisions. So thank you for being with us.
Very good. How about one more motion?
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chair, that we adjourn this meeting.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you.